All right, hey everyone, this is Rudy. It's March the 6th, the year 2017. As I get time, I want to read some of Schuyler Barbeau's letters from prison into YouTube. Other people may have already done this. I'm not 100% certain. I have not seen any. But I did find this letter from Gary Hunt. It's on Gary Hunt's website, Outpost of Freedom. And I thought if I'm just going to take the time to read it, I might as well turn on a recorder and upload it to YouTube so anybody else who wants to learn about Schuyler Barbeau can do so. So many thanks to Gary Hunt for uploading the letter into his website. And I'll put the link where you can go have that link and read it yourself if you want to read it in textual form. Otherwise, just continue to listen. It's called Barbeau, A Voice from Prison Number 1. And then it says Bound by Honor. October the 10th, 2016. Over in the left-hand side appears to be a write-up for a book called Honor Bound by Ryan P. Brown. But this is the letter that appears to be what Schuyler Barbeau wrote. Honor bound, question mark, not enough, exclamation point. What is honor? I'll tell you what I believe. Honor is something you earned, like trust. How is it earned? By doing the right thing. By doing the right things, you can be deemed honorable. By doing the right thing, people will honor you. Like an honorable discharge from military service by serving honorably by not doing the wrong thing. Like honoring your father and your mother by respecting and obeying them. Your actions, behaviors, and mentalities can be honorable. Beliefs can be honorable. This little article to the left, talking about the book, says the downside of an honor-obsessed society is everyone becomes hypersensitive to insults. Maybe if such a society was truly caring about honor, maybe the members wouldn't be making insults in the first place. I don't know about everyone else, but I try to show respect to everyone and everything. I believe respect, integrity, and honesty together produce honor. I haven't read the book here, but I'm figuring Mr. Brown's society is the American society. If he's writing that America is an obsessed society with honor, I will say I think he is wrong. I would say America's society could use a lot more respect, integrity, and honesty. I've been all over the world and have observed how people treat each other. I think some of America could do a lot better. That's my observation, not judgment. So don't get overly offended because I'll admit that I have done not so honorable things myself. Now to change the tune and a little bit and get on to what I really want to address. I'm going to quote from an article I read. It goes, "Honor never grows old, and honor rejoices the heart of age. It does so because honor is finally about defending those noble and worthy things that deserve defending, even if it comes at a high cost. In our time, that may mean social disapproval, public scorn, hardship, persecution, or, as always, even death itself. The question remains, what is worth defending? What is worth dying for? What is worth living for?" William J. Bennett in a lecture to the United States Naval Academy, November 24th, 1977. "When I was in the Marines and then the National Guard, I served my country, more so the government, I feel sometimes, but more or less, and serving one's country is honorable because I think everyone would agree it's the right thing to do for those that have that calling. So is freedom and liberty worth defending? Is it worth dying for?" I'm sorry, that's not a question. He made a statement. It is worth dying for. Is defending individual freedom and liberty honorable? Sure it is. Sure is in my book. There was a point in my life when everything changed. On my radar screen of threats to my freedom and my countrymen's freedom popped up a new blip, my own government. At that point, I became a full-fledged patriot. Ever since, I have experienced social disapproval, public scorn, hardship, rejection by my loved ones, and currently I am being persecuted here in prison, facing 10 years because I made my own gun, but more so because I am an activist against government tyranny, and by activist I mean when I hear about government terrorizing citizens, I insert my own body and my arms in the way and stop it. Most of my activism has been protecting citizens from government agents and law enforcement who act unlawfully against citizens without giving them due process. The Fifth Amendment in our Bill of Rights says that no person shall be deprived of their life, liberty, or property unless by due process of law. The situations I've dealt with involved agents threatening the lives and property of people without giving them due process. Other patriots and I do what's necessary to preserve the liberty and ensure that our fellow citizens get their due process, since the government is failing to protect and serve the people. This has made me an enemy to those who are members of the establishment that hate such evil agendas. When I joined the Marine Corps, I swore an oath to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That oath dies when I die. Can my own government not become a domestic enemy when it is systematically legislates our freedom away and forcefully and arbitrarily enforces that legislation on the people? I didn't only swear an oath to defend the Constitution, but freedom for all. And I certainly did not swear an oath to defend the United States government. That is a distinction some of you veterans currently serving and some in law enforcement need to make and understand. I will not blindly execute any old order that comes down from my superiors. And even the Uniform Code of Military Justice, UCMJ, requires that I only obey lawful orders, and on top of that, Article 6 of the Constitution says that it is the supreme law of the land, which brings me back to my oath, to the Constitution, the freedom. So where am I going wrong? I'm just doing what I swore an oath to do. How can I be a domestic terrorist for that? Recently, KIRO 7 News out of Seattle, Washington, interviewed FBI agent Frank Montoya Jr., who is in charge of the Seattle office. He said, "There's a lot of cases that stay on my mind at night," and after talking about real terrorist threats, he said, "Another individual on the domestic terrorism side of things, so not necessarily internally terrorist in nature, but Schuyler Barbeau, someone you're familiar with." I had told KIRO 7 that war was inevitable, and Agent Montoya responded, "They, likely being patriots, are distorting the Constitution, and yes, they can be a threat to this country. Assuredly, the only thing patriots are a threat to is the government. It is the patriots' duty to protect the citizens from the government tyranny, that is." Agent Montoya says I keep him up at night, but guess what, Agent Montoya? You keep me up late at night too. You and the rest of your agency keep me and all other patriots up at night wondering about what poor citizen will get terrorized that night. Tyrant Montoya, who's got a bigger record of terrorism. Let's do a survey across America. We will see how many more citizens have been terrorized by the FBI, ATF, IRS. Oh, how many people have had their lives destroyed by the IRS, EPA, FEMA, DEA, IC, TSA, Department of Homeland Security, Department of Agriculture, Department of Justice, etc. Oh, and let's include all state agencies of all 50 states and all state and municipal law enforcement. How many people have been terrorized by the government? How many people's lives have been ruined by the government? Let's survey history as well, going all the way back to when the federal and state governments were created. Let's ask the black community how much government terrorism they have experienced. Let's ask the Native American community how much government terrorism they have experienced, and so on and so on. Over the last 240 years, how many agents Montoya? Millions maybe. Then let's ask everyone how many have been terrorized by a patriot. Probably next to none, if not none. I believe we celebrate patriots and what they did every 4th of July. I bet you Agent Montoya celebrate the revolution every year, and that makes you a hypocrite for calling me a terrorist, because I am doing the exact same thing George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Samuel Adams, John Adams, Paul Revere, and the rest did. You're the real terrorist. I wouldn't even hurt one hair on your single sheep's head, nor would I do anything to interrupt their... Let me read that again. I would never hurt one hair on one single sheep's head, nor would I do anything to interrupt their happy little lives or threaten their freedom. Here, you and all the rest of your agents are the terrorists. My life is one more to add to the list that you've destroyed, because I have hurt no one, never intended to hurt anyone, and was only exercising my rights. You, sir, are dishonorable. You and your agents' actions are dishonorable. Your entire agency is dishonorable. Your entire government is dishonorable. The government does have a right to protect itself and the states from enemies of the country, but it doesn't have a right to defend itself from its own people who are trying to throw off, alter, and abolish the destructive government. Says so in our Declaration of Independence, that when government becomes destructive to our life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, we the people have the right and the duty to alter and abolish and throw off the government. There's a song I like to listen to by Five Finger Death Punch, titled Death Before Dishonor. They mention the FBI, among others, as being bottom-feeding scum. I wonder why a band would produce a song like that. Actually, there's a lot of music out there that's anti-government, as you might label it, but I don't think anyone has a negative song about the Patriots. In fact, even our national anthem is about patriots, fighting tyrannical, oppressive government. I could sing it for you, Agent Montoya. I could sing all 4 stanzas for you. I found it to be very patriotic to have spent the time to memorize and rehearse it until it was locked in. How about you, Agent Montoya? I bet you don't have one single agent in your entire office that is patriotic enough to have all 4 stanzas memorized and could sing it right now, let alone even knew there was 4 stanzas. But I'm a terrorist because I love my freedom and my country so much. Since I'm questioning Agent Montoya's patriotism, I want to tell you that there are 2 categories of patriots. In one, they serve and are loyal to the government no matter what it does, like Hitler's SS, just following orders. In the first, they will tell you that they care about the American people, the collective American people, but will go out and destroy the individual, or will support the government after they go to destroy the individual anyways. In the second, they will side with the people in all cases. In the latter, they will not support the government in or after destroying the individual. Abraham Lincoln said, "We the people are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who would prevent the Constitution." Agent Montoya, you and most of everyone else in the federal government are men who pervert the Constitution. I and many others intend on overthrowing you, not the Republican form of government the Constitution established. I read the Constitution. Actually, I have been studying it for many years. And the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and the history of the times when those documents were written. Agent Montoya and others have said that I have distorted the Constitution, ! But how do I distort shall not be infringed, when those words were written by the government, not the people? The Second Amendment says the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That is an instruction to you, not me. So how did I distort that? I exercise my right to keep and bear arms, and you throw me in prison and drag me through the injustice system. I'm pretty sure you found an undelegated power in the Constitution that somehow overrides the definitions of the words shall, not, and infringed, which is your distortion. Maybe you should check out a dictionary and go to grammar school and then check out what "don't tread on me" means. Where is your honor? That's an article written by Schuyler Barbeau. It's titled "Honor Bound, Not Enough."